the last class, we discussed about general features of SQL Server, editions of SQL Server, and a brief, overview about editions, not in detail, because installation is not our profile in real time, right? So we don't need to know much about editions. Those things gets added into our profile based on experience. Otherwise, completely a work of administrator, where DBA should have in-depth knowledge about all these editions which are related with SQL Server. Everything. Okay, but for us, I gave overview about all the editions. And yesterday, even we discussed what will be the life cycle of database implementation. That part also we discussed. Life cycle of what? Database implementation. Okay, and in this life cycle of implementation, I gave all these things. Designing will be the first phase. From there, it goes to development. From there, it goes to production. And these points we discussed. And last time we discussed differences that you notice between release and version. I took example to make you clear what actually the point you did. The notice we find a difference in release and version. That release is the year in which software has been introduced, and version is the number what I gave them, 12.0.2000. And what is called service pack 1 and all, everything we went to detailed study. Today, we are going to learn about types of servers. In that types of servers, first we'll discuss about database server. And what for it is? It works with databases. It works with SQL commands. Second is integration server. And here it is to implement ETL process. And second, to implement export and import activities. It is called shared server. And the rule you find is it can be only one per machine per version. This is all related to what? Integration server. Even in my introduction classes, I said, even now I'm saying, and the point is, our work, our developers' work plus administrators' work will be only on database server. If it is someone who is working as on business intelligence, for them, these three servers are required. Integration server, reporting server, and fourth is analysis server. Reporting server is to generate reports in a look and feel manner, to provide an interface to present data or information, and analysis server to implement data warehouse. DWH. Bas. How many? 4 servers. And during installation, I'll highlight those things. But till then, remember, whenever we install SQL Server software, you could see very clearly that all these servers will be in the form of checkboxes. Whichever server you are in need, check that box, that will be installed. Those which are unchecked will not be installed. So it means depending on the requirement of your work, depending on the requirement of your, the task, what is assigned to you, relevant server is installed. Since you are learning or you are being that you're going to work on database development process. So you can install only database server, remaining you can ignore. We don't need them. You can avoid them. You can avoid them. Okay. Now, going forward, the next point that we are going to study, it is called hierarchy of SQL Server in a machine. Refer to .png file. Fine. Let me make you one point very clear. Especially this point, this topic which we are going to learn will play a major role for any developer to understand the way database, the way objects are arranged internally in database. So for that reason, until and unless you are not clear with the hierarchy of SQL Server, I would rather say, based on my experience, writing queries, learning database makes no use until you're not clear with this hierarchy. Based on that, I made this particular topic specially available through one architecture kind of, presentation. So that it will be easy for you to analyze and understand how the things are going to manage in SQL Server. You are comfortable with the point what I'm explaining you now. Believe me, this is what my point is. When I come up with my installation session, when I come up with my practical session on SQL Server, just like that, you can understand the flow of database. Yeah. Is everyone clear with the previous topic which I discussed, types of servers?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Fine, Madhvi. Raju, Avinash, Mohan, Sambit. Confirm me through your chat panel, please.
Yes, sir.
Clear? Yeah. Yeah, Sambit. You said something about SQL, or what exactly the question is?
Sorry, could you please repeat the question?
I asked you, are you clear with the servers, whatever I listed? Are you clear with these points I asked?
Yeah, it's clear.
You're clear? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. These are types of servers, obviously in SQL Server only.
Hello, sir. One doubt.
Yes.
Can I ask?
Yes, you go ahead.
Sir, this is SQL Server development class, right, sir? In this DB I also covered, or is it DB is
No, nothing. No. I want the DBA sessions will be separate, ma. Yeah, this is
okay.
not connecting to that.
Okay, I'm learning Tableau. That's why I'm learning this MS
This is
SQL,
not
sir.
related to the no, not at all, not at all. Nothing I discuss about DBA in my session. It's purely related with SQL Server development.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Mohan, is this clear for you, Mohan? Shall I continue?
Yes, sir, you can continue.
Oh,
It's clear.
right. Yes. Now, before I start, this picture, especially the one which I'm going to explain you, which I have already drawn in our regular batch at 2 o'clock. The same picture I'll share with you so that you also can understand the importance of this implementation. Okay. Hierarchy. Yeah. Then and there you can interrupt me if you have any clarifications. Okay. First point, I said this is your machine system, obviously containing Windows OS, and we have SQL Server software here. Remember, installation of SQL Server software in a machine is what you call instance. Installation of SQL Server software in a machine is what you call instance. And another interesting thing is one SQL Server software in a single machine, you can install for 50 times. 50 times. Same software you can install for how many? 50 times you can install. We have that facility of SQL Server in SQL Server. 50 times. Now it is different story. Like, why do we need multiple installations? Simple example. If you are a startup, if if it is a startup company, and if it cannot go with much expenses, if it cannot go with, just 1 second, please. I have a priority call, just 1 second. Yeah. So here you can see. So why do we need multiple installations? Why do we need? So I gave an example that if it is a startup company, it doesn't need to have more expenses in the initial stages. So in that case, for example, if the company deals with projects, say like Java, they deal with the project on BI, they deal with the project on .NET. So in that case, company cannot make one instance to use by all types of projects. That may put a pressure on the instance. Things may collide. Things may create a lot of confusion at the time of accessing. So in that case, what company will do, company will install SQL Server software for 3 times, and it says that first installation of SQL Server is dedicated for .NET developers. Second time installed software will be given to BI developers. Third installation of SQL Server will be given to Java programmers. Fourth installation will be given to SQL developers. so that every team can work only with that particular instance, with that particular installed software. This is reason I'm saying why you need multiple installations. Reason I mentioned. Simple to understand. It's about reducing cost. Reducing cost. Another reason to describe, you can say, to maintain production, development, testing, environments. You understand? Microsoft gave the provision to install 50 times. And we find first time when you install, it is called default instance. First time. And from second time onwards, 49 times when you install, you call them as named instances. Named instance. First time installation, default. 49 named instances. And first time when you install, automatically for that installation, one name is given. One name, automatic, the name is given as MS SQL Server. MS SQL Server, that is the default instance name. And 49 times when you install, every time it will ask you to provide name of the instance as server 1, server 2, so on. You can have any name. I gave example, that is server 1, server 2, server 3. They may give, in real time, they may give like, in place of server 1, they'll give like something called net development, NET DEV. And one more thing there, BI development, BIDEV. Java development, Java DEV. SQL development, SQL DEV. Names of the instances. Names of the instances. That they can understand, oh, this is the instance being dedicated to so-and-so team. I gave example as server 1, server 2, Shareef, server 3, Hyderabad. This is my given names. And then compulsory, every installation will be identified by server names. Server names. Since we all are working with local server, local server. Because you are working with local server, your system name itself will be your server name. Now, if you look into my machine, command prompt, host name, Ahmed. You try in your system, host name, whatever will be the name, that becomes your server name. Real time mein, server name will be your name given by DBA to the server. Server name. Physical machine placed in server where whatever the name they provide, that becomes server name. That server name may be either they give name or they may give IP address. IP address. For us also, even if you talk about our local machine, for my machine, I'm talking about my system, my personal system. Now, the one on which I'm working, my system name, my personal system name, text name will be Ahmed, which you just have seen. And every local machine's IP address, default, I'm saying 127.0.0.1. Default IP address. These are needed. These are compulsory needed when you start communicating with SQL Server. So now real time, what will happen? Server, this IP address will be the IP address which administrators will create for us. Administrators will create for us. And for default instance, server name will be Ahmed. And remember, only when you find server name, you have to understand that you are working with the default instance. You're working with what? Default instance. And if you're working with named instance, then your system name will be followed by instance name. That is named instance. This is what you find, things that you should be aware. Click, 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 and you're done with installation is not the the way you go with things, especially connecting with installation or working of databases. Server name, instance name. Server name is now obviously local machine, local name. Real time name, server name may be the name which is given to your server by DBA, by administrator, by DBA. And that text, it may be a text address, it may be an IP address. If they give IP address, you are supposed to connect with IP address only. To hide IP address, they may create one text address. You connect with text address. And another interesting thing is, whenever you install not only SQL Server, any software, and you know very well that related to that software, folder will be created, folder. And in that folder, you will have installation. So depending on the server, what you have opted for installation, relevant folder is created. And for you, I'm saying, remember this MS SQL folder you find, MS SQL folder. You understand that this is going to contain, or this is going to hold, database server software. Database server software. MSRS contains software of reporting server. AS contains software of analysis server. Analysis server. Depending. If you would have not chosen reporting server during installation, as simple as that, this folder will not be created. This folder will not be there. If you have chosen, then that folder will be available. If you have not chosen analysis server, as simple as that, this folder will also not be available. You have only database server chosen. So only the MS SQL folder alone will be there in your in your SQL server software where you have made installation available. So my point is, folders will also give you an idea. Folders will also give you idea about what? About the installed server. So in my machine, I'm talking about my machine. In my machine, I have all 3 servers installed for me, for my default instance. All 3 servers. You want to see that? Please go ahead. Because it's there in my machine. You people can just experience whatever I've said, This PC, C drive, program files, Microsoft SQL Server. See here. Here you can see here. MS SQL. Here, default instance, database server. Better I write like this here. MS SQL server. 3 folders. Can you see here? 3 folders. All are default instance. Can you see this also here? Yes. MS SQL 12. MS SQL means all these 3 are only database servers. 3 times I have installed database servers for named instances. And you don't find MSRS server 1, MSAS server 1, MSRS server 2, MSAS server 2. You don't find them. Means what did I do? For default instance, I have installed full software, and for named instances, I have installed only database servers. That too, 4 times I went with installation. 4 times. Actually, this part I have shown in my DBA classes. In my DBA classes, I covered this part for them. Like, so how to install SQL Server software in different ways. In that explanation, I have come up with these many installations for them. You remember, installation can be of types in SQL Server. So in demonstration to all those types of installations, one they call attended installation, unattended installation, silent installation. When I was talking about all this stuff in my DBA class, on the day I have covered them, how to make all these things available practically. So in that regard, or in that particular case, these many instances have been made available in my system. At any point of time, this is local machine to your convenience. When you feel that things are being burdened on your drive, it's as simple as that, uninstall them. So probably even in our sessions as well, probably next class may also, I'll update you when, whenever we go with installation, because it's already there for me. I give access to any of you people from whoever there is on the dip in the batch, so that you can share your screen. From here, I'll guide you how to install SQL Server software. And this is again, let me make you clear. See, whether you're planning to make your career into BI onto any stream, right? People say that knowledge of SQL compulsory doesn't mean that you're good in writing queries, you're good in writing, you are working with DML, DDL operations, you're good in constraints, you're good in procedures. That doesn't matter until you're not clear with these basics, what I'm trying to come up with. And this is not, I'm not talking about hierarchy, that which is to be followed only in SQL. This is, you can say, hierarchy to be followed. Let it be any database software, any database. Only for me that matters is this will change. This will change. Today we are talking about SQL Server, so SQL Server there. If people are aware, if people are learning Oracle, SQL Server replace Oracle. And if people are learning MySQL, SQL Server replace MySQL, what is changing? Database software is changing. Rest of the hierarchy is fixed, same. So do you really feel that interviewer will not be asking you about this process when you start writing queries in database? 100%. We follow this hierarchy. When you write a query, always it is recommended that you should mention your server name, you should mention your database name, you should mention your schema name, you should mention your object name. You understand what I'm saying, right? These are the folders that are created during installation. Listen. One point. Clearly understand this. Two things are different. Now, this is for your knowledge, I'm saying. RDBMS. Oracle is one software. SQL Server is one software. You are talking about two different software. This is one more software. Separate softwares. One thing is, in every software of RDBMS, yes, common will be SQL, SQL, SQL. Everywhere. And your question, you asked me, you stated me, in Oracle SQL Server is there or not. Now, at least you can understand with this picture, the query what you asked has no connection with the point what I have written here. My concern is that Oracle is one software, SQL Server is one software, MySQL is one software, but all of them are having common language as SQL. SQL. That is the reason companies why they ask, especially if you are planning to make your career into your what do you call any of your business intelligence tool. Company will focus saying that candidate should carry good knowledge in SQL, sound knowledge in SQL, sound knowledge in SQL. Company will not say that you should have sound knowledge in SQL of Oracle. They won't say. They say sound knowledge in SQL. Definitely those people are experienced. They can understand. They can understand that sound knowledge in SQL means doesn't matter in which software you are aware of. This may be even a situation. For example, you have learned SQL, assume you have learned SQL in SQL Server. Okay. And you started applying for the jobs on your profile of business intelligence tool. And the company to which you have been called for an interview, if that company asks you, are you good in SQL? Do you have a clear knowledge of SQL? Obviously, your answer is, say, for example, since you're trained, you have learned, your answer is yes. Now the company will ask you, which software was that in which you have implemented SQL? Obviously, you answer that you learned it in SQL Server. Now company says, but in our company, where you are attending interview now, that company says, we don't use SQL Server, we use MySQL. Let them use MySQL. Let them use any database. You are good in SQL of SQL, so let it be. Same SQL will be there in all database software. Minor changes may be there in the syntax. If someone explains you how to enter into Oracle, how to create database in Oracle, over you whatever SQL you have learned in SQL Server, same SQL you apply in Oracle. Minor changes may be there in the syntax that you yourself can learn by just going through various online websites that will guide you to learn comparative study on this particular subject. Hardly 1 hour is enough. In comparison, we can wind up all database software. Comparison. Be good in one. Be good in one. You can manage all, is what my experience says. Hope answer to your query, Sambit. Still anything which you have a connection to this query, go ahead. If your query is like this, Sambit, would have been good. You would have matched with my answer what I have said you. If your question would have been like, is SQL common for Oracle and SQL Server? Then answer is yes. So in Oracle, SQL Server is there or not is no such point, because Oracle is separate software, SQL Server is separate software, but both of them is going to use SQL language for communicating with what? Database. Now, in SQL Server instance, right? In SQL Server software, in one instance, I'm saying you can create. Yeah. So you
Hello.
can see in one instance. Yeah, Mohan.
Yeah, sir, sometimes like your voice is breaking or you're going to mute. So, like I thought the issue is from my end.
No. Might be. Now I'm audible clearly now.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
we can.
Right.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. It's okay. Okay. So what did I say is in SQL Server software, you can have 32,767 databases. That is our created databases, user-defined databases, business databases, the link which Microsoft has provided. And in databases, classification goes like this: system databases, sample databases, business databases. System databases, 100% you will get once SQL Server software is successfully installed. Some blindly, SQL Server software installed, 100% you are available with system databases. Sample databases will not be available. You have to download and make it available. Business databases are our created databases. And inside database, what? Inside database, what? So what did I say? Databases will be of three types: system, sample, and business databases. Inside database, especially for system databases, we have four databases actually. Four which are visible. There is one database which is always found to be in hidden mode. So we have a separate topic in my next class that I'm going to discuss about data, right? So on that day, I'll explain you detail about them. Let's not talk about them. Just remember, databases will be of three types. Under a database, you have internal made some blocks. Those blocks are called schemas. Those blocks are called schemas. Like, let me give you an example so that and remember, I'll just give it a simple definition. Schema works like a folder. Easy to understand. Please don't change my sentence. I didn't say schema is a folder, okay? My sentence was like this. Schema works like a folder. I'm not saying schema is a folder. Schema is a folder. Schema works like a folder makes a big statement, a big difference between these two sentences. I said that schema is a part of database and schema works like a folder. Let me give you one example. Assume These five are developers now. This is one developer, developer 2, developer 3, developer 4, developer 5. 5 developers. They make one team. All are developers and they all make one team. Since they all are involved in one project. Yes, they all make a team in one project. So this is one project team. Now I'll write here. Avinash is one developer. Raju is one developer. Madhavi is one developer. Mohan is one developer. Sambit is one developer. 5 developers. They all are working on one project in one company, as one team, involved in one project. Their roles are different, but they all make one team. Obviously, when you all are working on one project, so definitely you all will have, so you all make one team. Yes. I'm just coming up to make you understand what is schema. Okay, fine. So where you all work, obviously you're all connected to one database now. Project is one, people are different. So obviously what will happen? Database will be common for you all. Database will be common. Avinash connects to the same database. Also connects to the same database. Madhavi also connects to the same database. Mohan also connects to the same database. Sambit also connects to the same database. Because you all are working on the same project. So obviously you cannot have your own personal databases. For all of you, one database is allotted. But when you all connect to the same database, all work on same, say this is database. Database connecting with, say for example, some banking domain. Database related to some bank. Okay. Now what happens then? Yeah, no point. Whatever the tasks allotted to Avinash, say for example, Avinash is given a task daily to create some tables for the project. Avinash is supposed to create tables for the project in the requirement of the project. Daily he's supposed to create tables. One table sometimes may have 60 columns, 70 columns, 30 columns, 80 columns. What else? Then in that columns, you have to decide what conditions you want to apply. All Avinash will take Avinash responsibility. And Raju's responsibility. Raju is supposed to create synonyms. Raju's role. He is supposed to create synonyms. Long table names Avinash will create, and Raju will be provided to do a task of providing shortcut names to those tables. Now question is, not only synonyms, Raju may also be assigned to create tables. So in that case, what will happen? Company will create one schema. This is one schema, a kind of folder, a kind of object. This is one more schema. 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 Yes. Now Avinash will be asked, informing by the team lead or by DBA, saying that Avinash, whatever the tasks that you do in the database, your information should be available in this schema. So Avinash things will be available in Avinash schema. Raju create few things, his things will be available in his schema. And whatever Madhavi does, her information will be in her personal schema. Then whatever Mohan does, those things will be available in Mohan's schema. And whatever Sambit does, his information will be available in his personal schema. Now your work is segregated. This is later requirement. What? For example, assume that Avinash created one table and that table, Mohan needs it. Mohan want to use that table. Mohan don't want to create because you all are working in the same project. Already one table which is created by Avinash is a requirement of Mohan. Why Mohan will create separate table? That would wastage of time, that would wastage of memory because those schemas are different, but database is same only. Na? So no one will allow you, no one will think about that particular point. They rather say that, last time Avinash has created the table, you take that table and work on it. So simply Mohan will ask Avinash to give the table. So Avinash becomes owner of the table. Avinash should give permission of the table to Mohan so that Mohan can access the table.
Hello.
Go for it, please.
Ahmed, I have one doubt. I mean,
Yes,
not a
please.
doubt, just want to clear it. So if I
Go
create
ahead.
one table,
If
I create one table, so that table, that is the one, I am the owner of the table. So
and it is in your schema.
automatically it will be a one schema. The table,
No,
it
no,
will
no,
be
no,
a
no,
one schema.
no, not like that, not like that. For example, I'll give you one example. For example, Avinash has created one table. The table name is, assume something like this, employees table underscore TBL table. Where is this table? Table is in Avinash schema. This is schema. This is schema. Avinash SCHL, right? As schema. Okay. This is Avinash schema. Under Avinash schema, there is one table called employees table. Under Avinash schema, Avinash has created one more table called departments TBL table. Two tables are there in Avinash schema. Table is not schema. Table is a part of schema. And schema is a part of database.
Yeah. So
Go ahead.
schema and database, there is nothing much different. Database is itself called a schema, right?
No. Database contains a schema. Picture. One second. See this picture. Database, container. Inside container, there is a block called schema. This rectangle box which you find here, that is schema. So database is container. That container contains one box, a folder kind of thing, and that folder kind of thing is schema. Schema contains objects. Avinash, this is easy for you to understand. Avinash, can you say me? Drive, folder, file. For you, same or different?
Drive folders, three are different. I mean,
है ना? Different ना? Drive क्या है? What is drive? Partition. Partition. C drive, D drive, E drive, partition. Folder inside a drive. So where is database? Acha, 1 second. When you say these things, the one which I wrote, 1 second. Okay, just now I wrote, na? Drive, folder, file. अब बोलो, अब file is where? The file is where?
Inside the folder.
Folder. Where is folder?
Inside the drive.
Drive. Where is drive?
No.
Where is drive?
System.
Hard disk.
Hard disk, yeah.
Hard disk में है drive. Drive is in hard disk. Hard disk is SQL Server software. Drive is database. Folder is schema. File is table. Better, instead of reference, I'm giving object.
Yeah.
Object. Okay?
Okay.
No. Where are your tables, Avinash? These tables are where?
It's table inside the schema.
Beautiful. Tables are in schema. Where is schema?
Inside the database.
Database. Where is database? Where is database?
Inside the server.
Where is database? Server. Inside instance.
Instance, yeah.
But the inside SQL Server software, I mean to say. Clear? Avinash, you have still anything which is confusing you? Go ahead, please. If not, I'll continue with the next part.
Yeah, clear.
Okay. And this is for your knowledge, I'm saying, for your knowledge, so that you people can understand little easy now. For everyone, I'm saying, listen carefully. You know, this is routine process we do. Routine. A regular, a general process, you better call them. A regular, general process. Okay. So what just I was saying this example, then you'll get to know about it easily. You know, we download songs, right? We download songs, I'm saying songs from internet. Say, for example, I'll download, means whenever we feel some new songs are launched, example I'm saying, I download songs. So downloading. The downloads have around now 150 downloads I have. Well, my downloads folder is containing 150 songs. 150 songs with all languages, Telugu, English, Hindi, all songs are there. Tomorrow, example I'm saying, if one of my friend asks me to share the songs of Telugu, then what I'm supposed to do? In that 150 songs, I should be very careful. I should be very cautious that only Telugu songs are selected from that 150. Then I can copy into his pen drive and I can share. Okay. Once your friend asked you, you helped him over. Similarly, another friend, he also asks you to share the songs which you have downloaded. Already first time to share those Telugu songs, you wasted your time. You are a little cautious of selecting only Telugu songs. You are even seeing that those songs should not be deleted from your machine. Lot of other things that go back of mind before when you do these operations. But every time you can't waste your time of just for sake of sharing. You can't waste your time of doing that process again and again. Better is what then? We do like this. D drive mein, E drive mein, wherever you have like space available in your system, you create one folder called songs folder. Uske baad inside songs folder, you create 3 folders called Telugu songs, Hindi songs, English songs folders. And in that folders, you move your files from downloads folder to respective folders. Why you did this process of moving downloads folder to respect? There is no other logical reason except one. It is only called maintenance. Maintenance. That's it. There is no big logic in it. There is no big something like, a rocket science in it. Easy to understand that. I segregated them into different folders, making all those folders a part of songs folder only for a reason that someone asked me to share. At least I don't need to waste my time focusing on every time I need to focus on doing what the operation, what I need on that particular. Now someone asks me Telugu songs, I directly go to Telugu songs folder, copy all of them and dump into the drive by which you want to exchange your files over. What is that you did? It's about easy maintenance. That is what your database says. Why all in one? Why all developers in one schema? Why don't you create their personal schema? Schema is not going to utilize your memory. It's only a work of segregation. You're just trying to divide your work. So that tomorrow, if I've been informed that Avinash created objects are important for the project in whole coming year. And Madhavi's created objects are important. Mohan's created objects are important. Then Avinash, Madhavi, Mohan. These 3 developers, whatever they do, their objects are important. So DBA will go for a backup of only those 3 schemas. DBA will take backup of Avinash schema, but DBA will take backup of Madhavi schema. DBA will take backup of Mohan schema. DBA will not touch Raju and Sambit schemas. That is not required for the next cycle of the project. That is what we have another advantage of creating schemas. Are you all clear with this, please? You have still anything which is going on? Please go ahead, please. Any question that you have connecting with this?
Clear, sir.
Clear? Okay, fine then.
Yeah.
Right. Avinash, is this clear for you?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, fine. Mohan, Sambit, Raju. Now, schema contains what? Objects. What objects? I get the list there. How many objects you can have? 32,767 objects, tables, views, synonyms, sequences, all are a part of objects. All are called objects. That is, now I concluded these 4 points. OS, collection of instances. Instance, collection of databases. Database, collection of schemas. Schema, collection of objects. Okay, this is the hierarchy of SQL Server. Okay, clear everyone? Right. Today's topic was this one. Tomorrow I'll take up the introduction of what do you call SQL language. Introduction to SQL, that is structured query language, SQL. This is our first topic that we are going to start tomorrow under SQL Server. First module, SQL. Tomorrow we'll discuss in detail about SQL. Okay. After this, we'll have one more session for theory. Then on, we are into practicals. I'll show you how to work with database. First, we'll discuss about database working process. Okay. So hardly you can say more 2 sessions we need for our theory. After that, we are into practicals.
Hello.
Okay. Yes,
Sir,
yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think that is also